Good afternoon, everyone. Mike over at Charts Don't Lie. I wanted to take a few minutes this evening and talk a little bit about gold, silver, and the junior miners. I hope this week's been treating you well. I know it has been extremely volatile, and I will have a video later in the week about the overall market itself. But for tonight, we're just going to focus on gold, metals, and miners. So first, I wanted to show you guys a weekly chart of gold futures, which is what is up on the screen. For the last 5 weeks, I have been talking about the 1220 line. If we were able to close above that, I would hold junior miners overnight. And so for the first time since this downtrend in June, we closed above the downtrend line. And for the first time since June, I am holding a position in JNUG overnight. Now this setup right here reminds me a lot of what we got last year. We had this 9-month downtrend, but when we broke through it, we did so with conviction, and gold actually headed up about $100 an ounce higher from that point over the next 4 to 5 weeks. So this area has been key to be watching over the last few weeks. Now that we're over that line, if we can hold that 1220 area, what can be in store inside the gold market? So what I am now looking at is the bigger downtrend picture that we've had in play for the last 3 years. That is going to come at about 1260, 1258 or so in play. And that's where the real battle is going to take place for gold for the miners as well. If we get up to this point and we are able to break through for the first time in 3 years, we may actually be out of the prolonged downtrend, and we will be entering a new trading range. However, we have been in this downtrend for 3 years, so there is a good likelihood that we will get up to 1260 and once again fail and head lower. Now, the other reason why this trading range is so important, if I go ahead and actually extend this out to the right and to the left, you can actually see that this channel where gold has spent the better part of 3 years inside of also happened to be pretty much the exact low from 5 weeks ago at 1130. So this area is extremely important. I believe that if we come up, we are going to come up and test this 1260 area. If we are able to get over it, we'll have a change of character in the market. And if we don't, that's fine. I will close the long position that I've got out right here, and I will add short position in JDST and look for gold to head lower. Now, we take a look at silver as well. We see a very similar trading setup. So silver oftentimes leads gold, and this downtrend that we've been in since the end of June, early July as well, was actually broken not this week, but at the end of last week. We closed for the first time over that line, and then we have just gone higher over the course of the whole week. This is a good setup for the mining sector. So this trading range is extremely important. The test for silver is going to come at about $19 an ounce. So if we get up to $19 an ounce and silver can't get through, once again, we can look at putting some shorts on in the silver market. And if it does get over, it is a change of character in the market. Now, the other thing I wanted to take a look at is the actual junior miners themselves. Now, a couple of weeks back, I did a video on EWZ, and I talked about the best low-risk entries and the trades that I look for to take. We get a prolonged sell-off way out of the lower Bollinger Band. If you don't catch the original bounce, which is very difficult to, you sit back and you wait 2 to 3 weeks and wait for the following. A test of the lower Bollinger Band, once again, putting in a higher low. This is exactly what the junior miners have given us if we waited patiently. We made a higher low on the lower Bollinger Band, and RSI is rising. This setup looks extremely bullish to me, and the other reason why I like this so much is not only did it come down and test the lower Bollinger Band, it was immediately rejected. It spent maybe an hour down here and actually flipped green on the day and then gapped up again today. This is a very bullish look out of these junior miners. Now, a lot of people asked me today, and I saw a lot of people talking on Stock Twits about how gold was up $40 an ounce and JNUG was only up 12%. That seemed like a big gap. It felt like one of those days with gold being up $40 an ounce that the junior miners should have ran up. GDXJ itself should have been up 10%. JNUG should have been up 30%. We weren't there. So what I wanted to show you on this chart is gold against GDXJ. Gold is the red on this chart. The green is GDXJ. Now, these are very closely correlated, and they spend the majority of their time very, very close together and actually cross many, many times. Now, you can see kind of these bigger gaps up here in the beginning. Let me show you the actual size of this gap. This is a 16% gap. This gap right here is a 12% gap in price. This one's 16%. Let's take a look at where we finished today. At the height of the day, the difference between gold and the junior miners was 44%. We closed at about 40% on the day. That is a huge disconnection between the two. It felt that way if you were trading JNUG today as well, and many people were wondering what was going on. So I'm holding JNUG overnight. The reason being is I think we're going to gap up tomorrow. These things are going to come back together. The question is, how do they do it? Does gold pull back to the miners, or do the miners go up to gold? As long as gold can stay over 1220, I'm comfortable holding JNUG overnight and not just using it for day trading. What I think we're going to see happen tomorrow is a gap up. Even if gold pulls back a little bit, or we should move in the direction of closing this down. So that is what I am looking for tomorrow. So I'm holding JNUG here, hopefully until that 1260 area and past it. But if we get to 1260 on gold and $19 on silver, and both of those lines are rejected, and the bears still have control of this market as they've had for 3 years, I will be putting the shorts on. So I hope you all have a good rest of the week, and have a good evening.